Business, business, business. Everyone's got an angle. But me? I shoot straight. And let's be real for a second. All this talk about his looks? Please. He's no matinee idol. The truth is, Michael Jordan and Charles Barkley used to be thicker than thieves. For years, they were inseparable, locker room confidants, sharing jokes, and an unbreakable allegiance. But the foundation crumbled, leaving only shards. Now, Jordan offers a rare glimpse into the chasm that divides them, a line Barkley purportedly crossed, rendering their fraternal bond irrevocably deceased. In the crucible of 80s NBA, Michael Jordan and Charles Barkley forged a brotherhood, not of blood, but basketball. Drafted into the league in '84, Jordan to Chicago as the Bulls' chosen one, Barkley to Philly as the Sixers' bold acquisition, they embarked on parallel paths. For almost 30 years, a bond blossomed, stronger than any on-court battle, a kinship that defied the fierce competition that defined their era. Their bond was as tight as a well-laced sneaker. Golf courses became battlegrounds for high-stakes wagers, the 1992 Dream Team, their playground. They were inseparable, a comedic duo on talk shows, each labeling the other best friend with unwavering conviction. Jordan, publicly embracing the bond, painted Barkley as a mischievous younger sibling, a responsibility he both cherished and perhaps, secretly, resented, quipping, "He's like a little brother, sometimes I feel like I'm his dad." Barkley, though, was family, practically a younger sibling in Jordan's eyes. That intimacy gave them license to rib each other mercilessly. Remember that Oprah appearance? Barkley unloaded on Jordan with jabs no one else would have the guts to even think, let alone utter. The world was too busy bowing and scraping. He was surrounded by yes men, always had been, but I wasn't one of them. And honestly, all this talk about his looks? Overblown. But that was all background noise. The real crack came in 2012. That's when the bond, the brotherhood we had, finally snapped. Sir Charles, trading rebounds for a microphone after hanging up his sneakers in 2000, found himself holding court on TNT's inside the NBA, where truth-telling was part of the gig. Meanwhile, his airness had taken control of the Charlotte Hornets in 2010, but the honeymoon was definitely over. The 2011 to 2012 season saw the Hornets stung to a dismal 7-59 record. Charlotte, under Jordan's watch, had sunk to historical depths of futility. The Hornets were a laughingstock, a graveyard for promising draft picks, a no-fly zone for free agents. Coaches came and went like revolving doors, casualties of Jordan's erratic whims. The stands, once buzzing with excitement, were now barren and echoing. The Hornets Stadium, once a cauldron of noise, was now a silent testament to failure. Talking heads across the country sharpened their knives, dissecting Jordan's disastrous foray into management. Could the ultimate alpha dog, the on-court deity, truly navigate the subtle art of building a team from the ground up? The untouchable aura, forged in sweat and championships, had curdled into a stubborn refusal to listen, leaving the king looking distinctly uncrowned. The inferno that once fueled Jordan's greatness now burned bridges of trust. Barkley, ever the blunt analyst on TNT, didn't pull punches. He declared Jordan's tenure running the Hornets a dismal failure, citing a disastrous supporting cast. Barkley later elaborated, emphasizing the impossibility of applying a friend discount to objective truth, even when that friend was Michael Jordan. Jordan, however, perceived betrayal where Barkley saw truth. That night, the phone lines blazed with Jordan's fury. Barkley, in countless retellings, has kept the story consistent, a testament, perhaps, to its painful truth. He lamented the isolating nature of fame, that its price often meant unquestioning loyalty and the inability to truly connect with those who weren't financially dependent. The weight of the bills, he seemed to say, stifled genuine connection. Those boys rode shotgun on Air Jordan. Loyalty demanded silence, even when the empire crumbled. But Jordan, he saw things different. The story never wavered, told and retold. The eruption, the phone call, then nothing. Radio silence from the man he thought he knew. "I thought you were my guy," he supposedly bitched. "I told him, I gotta call it like I see it." That was the last time they ever spoke a decade back. 30 years of camaraderie, gone with one phone call. Since then, 3 awkward encounters in the same room, but never close enough to bridge the chasm. To grasp why Jordan wielded the executioner's axe over mere critique, you need to delve into the enigma that is Charles Barkley. To grasp Jordan's cold shoulder, remember the tapestry of their history. This wasn't about Barkley's messy life. Jordan had weathered decades of Sir Charles's antics. The brawls, the headlines, the regrettable choices. Hell, he'd even shrugged off that infamous barroom incident with the ice-flinging heckler in Orlando back in '97, when Barkley's reaction involved a shattered window and a police report. No, it wasn't the boisterous Barkley Jordan couldn't stomach. It was the broadcaster Barkley, the one who dared to critique his Hornets. That was the unforgivable transgression, the betrayal that shattered their bond. A peacekeeper in plain clothes stepped in. Barkley, ever the charmer, swore he just wanted a heart-to-heart. No harm intended, he promised. And get this, before the fracas even began, the cops warned him to keep his distance. Just want to talk, he'd insisted then too. No talking, Charles growled, his voice thick with a low, simmering rage that barely contained itself. Just hurt. I want to hurt him. Just let me get to him, officer. Talk ain't the point no more. Lord have mercy. I just want to see, and the cop. He was all right, said I could reason with him a little. Beg my pardon. But the fella there, he's saying I ain't gonna do jack. Calling me every name in the book, a big softy. The Orlando night turned ugly fast. Lugo, never one to mince words, especially when fueled by Floridian nightlife, aimed a jab at Barkley, calling him nothing but a big. For Charles, a man accustomed to dominating on the court and receiving a certain level of deference, it was the wrong phrase delivered at the wrong time. The officer on the scene could only watch, stunned, as Barkley, in a fit of pique rarely seen off the hardwood, seized Lugo and launched him headlong through a plate glass window. Shards rained down as Lugo met the unforgiving pain. Bruises blossomed, cuts opened, and Barkley found himself cooling his heels in a jail cell for 5 long hours, booked for aggravated battery. The story exploded across headlines. Lugo, it turned out, was no stranger to trouble himself, boasting a rap sheet 10 arrests long, a veritable rogues gallery under names like Pancho Villa. Barkley's past indiscretions, a rap sheet punctuated by brawls and bluster, didn't justify his jab at Jordan. Yet, it underscored the combustible nature of their dynamic. That broken window, the Lugo incident, could have been fatal. Glass rained down, a brutal hailstorm of shards tearing flesh. Medics patched Lugo up on site before the ambulance wailed him away. It was Drexler, Barkley's teammate, who coughed up the $6,000 to spring him. Barkley's brawl cost him a 2-game sit-down courtesy of the NBA, a $10,000 dent in his pocket courtesy of David Stern's gavel, and a messy tangle of civil suits that ended with Barkley quietly writing a check. Endorsement deals, predictably, scattered like leaves in a storm. This latest fracas added to a lengthening rap sheet of extracurricular chaos, risking the tarnishing of his on-court legend. Asked if he had any regrets, Barkley doubled down, as only he could. He acknowledged the NBA's discomfort, but vowed not to be bullied into silence, stopping just shy of guaranteeing future tranquility. They get me, he seemed to say, implying a world where things just happen. Does everything have to be black and white, right and wrong? Look, I'm not saying everything I do is right, but getting hauled in is a bad look for everyone. Nothing anyone throws at me will make me bite. And if some fool tries to get me drunk or something, I'll walk away and let someone else deal with it. I'm still a man, though. I'm not hiding from the world. Barkley, never one to shy from the fray, simply pleaded for civility. No projectiles, no fisticuffs. But this wasn't a sudden detour into madness. The man's past was a highlight reel of missteps, a concealed weapon charge in '88, a broken nose courtesy of a Milwaukee bar fight in '91, and a regrettable New Year's Eve DUI in '08. It was a pattern, etched in indiscretions. The reading registered a staggering 0.149. Barkley, exceeding the legal limit nearly twofold, was deep in the sauce. A guilty plea followed, then 3 days behind bars, and a TNT timeout of 2 months. In retrospect, the DUI became a belated classroom, forcing Barkley to confront the reckless truth. For years, he navigated the roads drunk, a cavalier disregard for consequence now laid bare. Truth be told, I've been flirting with disaster for years. Hundreds of times, probably more, I'd gotten behind the wheel after a few drinks, thinking nothing of it. That DUI was just the first time I got caught. Barkley, bless his heart, never crossed the line into outright criminality. A fortunate circumstance he himself acknowledges taught him something. Though, one might argue his financial peccadillos were colorful enough. A cool $400,000 lighter after a Vegas misadventure in '08, and a confessed $10 million vanished into the gambling ether over the years. And then there were the pronouncements, the stuff that made headlines. The infamous "I'm not a role model" declaration back in '93, and that ill-judged quip about hitting a female reporter. A joke that landed with a resounding thud in 2019. Controversy, it seemed, was simply Barkley's middle name. For 30 years, Charles Barkley held the title of Michael Jordan's closest confidant. The brawls, the brushes with the law, the high-stakes wagers, Jordan had weathered them all. But disloyalty? That was the unforgivable sin. The crucible where their friendship was truly tested, the very forge that had hardened it against so much, was the hardwood itself. Jordan and Barkley weren't just buddies. They were rivals of an epoch. The '90s NBA was a gladiator pit, and Jordan and Barkley were two of its fiercest combatants. Their clashes weren't just games. They were philosophical wars waged on hardwood. Jordan, the scalpel, versus Barkley, the battering ram. Michael, as he recalled it, perfectly encapsulated their dance in one playoff skirmish. Chuck, exasperated by MJ's relentless scoring, seethed on the court, a volcano about to erupt. Barkley, ever the showman, even took it upon himself to guard Jordan, a task decidedly not in his repertoire. What was it really like facing off against Sir Charles? There's this one memory, playoffs against Philly. I was in the zone, racking up points, 40-something already. And all game, Barkley's just screaming at everyone, tearing into them. All I could think was, seriously, who's gonna actually try and stop me? Alright, someone's gotta try and slow this cat down. I remember thinking, I got him. So we're running the play. You know how it goes. A switch happens, and suddenly there's Chuck lumbering out to guard me. And get this, he's got that badge on him, the one they give to the so-called defensive stoppers. So, naturally he gets down low, tries to look all menacing, hands up, the whole 9 yards. Barkley, dissected on screen, always seemed fundamentally sound, at least on paper. But the knowing smirk playing across my face betrayed the reality. That very fearlessness, that headfirst charge into every fray, that was Barkley. Jordan, captivated by it, even weaponized it. The '93 finals? That was the ultimate chess match in their long, complicated game. That year belonged to Barkley. He'd snagged the MVP trophy, leading his Suns to a league-best 62 victories. Destiny, he figured, was knocking. Phoenix was primed to snatch the crown from Jordan's 2-time champion Bulls. The MVP battle itself had been a dogfight. Jordan, naturally, had put up monster numbers, 32.6 points a night, dwarfing Barkley's still impressive 25.6. Barkley's Phoenix resurrection, however, couldn't be ignored by the voters, who handed him the MVP trophy for turning a listless Suns squad into a desert storm. 9 wins better than the year before. The Barkley effect was undeniable, charging the franchise with his trademark intensity. Jordan, never one to cede ground, felt the sting of that MVP loss, a personal affront in their ongoing saga. For Jordan, accolades were oxygen. To fall to Barkley in the '93 finals wasn't just a defeat, it was a personal indictment. Suddenly, rings weren't enough. The series morphed into a brutal contest of worthiness. He approached each game with a single-minded intent, annihilation. Barkley's MVP win wasn't enough. He craved to deflate Jordan's ego, to shove the meaningless nature of regular season accolades down his throat when the real lights blazed. But Jordan? He weaponized the perceived slight. Fueled by the snub, he detonated, delivering a finals performance for the ages, a scorched earth campaign averaging a blistering 41 points a night. Barkley emptied the tank, a Herculean effort for the ages. But Jordan? Unyielding, a brick wall. He simply refused to cede victory. And there I was, another spectator to his earnest dominance. Vintage Jordan, all teeth and fury. Knowing me, Mike knew I was coming hard. I could see him jawing with Horace and Scott, something like, "You let that fat ass back me down?" Hollis, underrated cat. Man, him and Scott, when they doubled, vision went black. Pure caos. There were damn trees out there, all arms and legs, couldn't see the basket half the time. Still, I managed to scrape together something like 48, 49 points, snagged 26 boards. Figure Mike could easily drop 55. Let me have this one. But that stubborn son of a bitch just wouldn't let it happen. The '93 finals stretched to 6 brutal contests. But it wasn't the hardwood where Game 5 etched itself into Barkley's memory. It was the pre-game circus. Chicago, drunk on anticipation, plastered its screens with images of businesses barricading themselves against a phantom riot, a premature victory parade preempting the actual battle. Barkley, fueled by a potent cocktail of indignation and spite, simmered all day long. The taunt, amplified by every channel, stung. Talking heads on the box, man. Barricading the joy. Saying simmer down after a title's won. A damn title. No cheating crowds. No soaring celebrations. Listen, brother. Reaching the arena that evening, I was consumed by a feeling. No damn way we're tasting defeat tonight. I'd stewed over it all day, that burning feeling. Trying to outrun it, you understand? They were nailing the coffin shut on the season, boarding up the city, metaphorically speaking. The Suns had one last gasp in Game 5, but Phoenix awaited a painful reckoning. Paxton's dagger 3 in Game 6 shattered Barkley's promise. A vow made to his daughter, who met him at the door, tears streaming, a little girl's dreams dashed by a basketball. I can still see it, can't you? The walk home, the sting of failure. Back in Houston, my little girl was a mess. I'd already laid it down, told her straight. Ain't a soul on this earth rebounds like her old man. We were taking that serious. But there she was, tears streaming. I remember thinking, damn, he's gone. Thought they had it locked down. And look, I'm gonna say something I never thought I'd admit. Not even to myself. Back then, when I was Mr. Holier Than Thou. Jordan? He might just be better than me at this game. The '93 finals marked a turning point. The first time Barkley conceded to another superiority. Numbers paint a similar picture. Jordan, the league's all-time scoring king at 30.1 points a game, hoisted 5 MVP trophies. Barkley, only a single one. 6 rings adorned Jordan's hand, a barren wasteland for Barkley. Yet, beneath the championship disparity, a true respect. Simmered, hotter than any rivalry. More than mere opponents, they were brothers in arms. Long before the fateful phone call severed the connection, Jordan and Barkley had hammered out a bond in the furnace of shared experience, a forge fired by more than just the game. Then came '92, Barcelona, and the shimmering spectacle of the Dream Team. Basketball nirvana. Finally, the gates opened, unleashing NBA titans onto the Olympic stage. Jordan and Barkley, shoulder to shoulder with Magic, Bird, and a constellation of other legends, formed an unprecedented constellation of hoops prowess. The result? Utter annihilation. They steamrolled the competition, a golden wave washing over all comers, leaving them trailing by an average of, just a casual 44 points a game. Barkley, though, couldn't fathom the sheer scale of the Olympics until he was actually there, boots on the ground. Man, let me tell you, I've caught some lucky breaks in my life, been truly blessed. But the Olympics? That's a whole other ballgame. Coolest damn thing I've ever been a part of. Stepping off the plane, we were blind to the sheer pandemonium about to unfold. That window, maybe 12, 15 feet across, a mere sliver, really became a portal to a world gone mad. Before we even hit the bus, a solid wall of humanity, 5, maybe 10,000 strong, crammed itself against the glass, desperate for a peek, a mere fleeting glimpse of the Dream Team circus. Of course, there was the Holy Trinity, Michael, Magic, and Bird. Freed from the gladiatorial arena of the court, they found brotherhood in shared experience. Southern boys, each blazing with supernova talent, driven by a furnace of ambition, each demanding, without apology, their due reverence. At the '92 Olympics, Barkley spearheaded the Dream Team's offense, dropping 18 a night. Jordan, ever the picture of efficiency, chipped in nearly 15. The practices in La Jolla? Mythic. Chuck Daly, the coach, smartly loosened the whistle, letting the superstars brawl out. Those intra-squad scrimmages? More loaded with talent than your average all-star game. Under the tutelage of Jordan and Magic, practices became gladiatorial contests, witnessed by awestruck Daly as hoops nirvana. Trash talk flowed like Gatorade. Egos clashed like cymbals, and a competitive fire threatened to incinerate all but the strongest wills. Yet, instead of imploding, the Dream Team coalesced, forged in a crucible of mutual respect and shared ambition. The Olympic Village was their confessional booth, and late-night diner rolled into one. Night after night, Jordan and Barkley broke bread together, comparing notes on their ascent, playfully squabbling over hardwood supremacy. Fueled by competitive fire, the hours dissolved into a haze of spirited debate. Basketball schematics, political wrangling, and, naturally, the eternal mystery of women, all tossed into the conversational blender. It was their haven, a sanctum of shared ambition and burgeoning brotherhood. Beyond their personal bond, the Dream Team reshaped the world's game. Suddenly, kids in Europe weren't just kicking soccer balls. They were picturing themselves draining fadeaways in the NBA. Barkley, always with an eye for talent, spotted a raw diamond on a Nike junket overseas. An 18-year-old German kid bullying grown men. Man, it was hilarious. The first time I clapped eyes on Dirk and Vesky, I think it was. Kid was only 18. Back then, globetrotting with Nike, see? One of those early promotional circuits. Jordan's at the Royal Suite, naturally entourage spilling out. Me, I'm rolling with Pippen, a few other solid cats. Nike, bless him, always had a knack for planting the flag, showing us off to the world. Jordan, ever the competitor, boasted beforehand. Rodman, I got this. Scotty's one of the best defenders ever. But by the final buzzer, Rodman had torched them. 50 points. Jordan ate his words. Their bond needed no verbal affirmation. Once arenas emptied, the manicured greens called, and golf became the stage for their ongoing drama. Wagers soared into the thousands with each swing, Jordan's relentless drive demanding redress for every defeat. Querying Jordan about Barkley's prowess on the links elicited a merciless judgment. Highly? Let's just say his swing requires a generous eye. Truth be told, I'm mortified by it, frankly. It's a damn shame a man can take a pastime, something meant for ease, and turn it into such an ordeal. Utterly ruthless. And look, nobody's forcing me onto this golf course, understand? Those weren't just tee times, not by a long shot. Those golf courses were sacred ground, a place for spilling secrets, dissecting family dramas, swapping business war stories, and trading NBA whispers. It was there, amidst the manicured greens, that they laid the foundation of trust. The same trust whose shattering would later cut so deep. Barkley got it. He understood the seismic shift Jordan's success created for everyone in the game. He knew MJ rewrote the entire financial playbook of basketball. Without Michael lighting the path, that whole Nike gravy train, it wouldn't exist. No LeBron endorsements, no Kobe deals. The commercial landscape we see today, gone. People forget, athletes weren't always plastered on screens selling shoes. Jordan changed all that. He paved the way for everyone. Before Michael, endorsement deals were phantoms for the rest of us. He unlocked that door, the commercials, the sponsorships. He paved the way for the fortunes we now enjoy. Debating his GOAT status is one thing, but he's the engine that made it all possible. In that respect, that deep recognition of what Jordan did never faded for Barkley, even after Jordan iced him out completely. That unwavering admiration makes their fractured friendship all the more heartbreaking. And so the epilogue writes itself. Jordan cashed out in August of '23. Hornets sold for a king's ransom. near 3 billion glittering greenbacks, a dizzying return on his initial $275 million investment. Barkley's barbs, however unwelcome at the time, echoed in the final balance sheet. Jordan walked away a billionaire, absolved of the burden of a team forever mired in mediocrity. Barkley, ever the outspoken provocateur, simply carried on being Barkley. Barkley's built a broadcasting empire on unfiltered truth, racking up Emmys on TNTs inside the NBA. But dredging up the Jordan debacle? He's beyond weary. Another reporter fishing for drama. Feels like OJ all over again. He sighs undoubtedly before I could even broach the subject. Tired? You bet your bottom dollar he's tired. Without a doubt, Jimmy, because folks treat us like we're hounding royalty like William and Harry. MJ took exception to something I blurted out. Twice a year, predictable as clockwork, I gotta defend myself. I'd say, look man, Michael's killing it. Charles is killing it. I genuinely hope he thrives, but let's be real, this ain't some royal feud with passive-aggressive jabs flying left and right. The truly bizarre thing is the sheer effort we've both put into not being in the same room for over 10 years now. Barkley seemed to marvel at their mutual avoidance, a decade-long commitment to separate orbits. Looking back, we only ever skirted around it, a glancing blow. Never a real confrontation, never eye to eye. Fact is, I reckon we've barely been in the same room 3 times in the last quarter century. Just think on that. We even stayed at the same damn hotel in New York once, for some event or other. The irony. Later, circumstance threw us together. A cruel cosmic joke. The Hall of Fame, then some other stage. And finally, the NBA's Diamond Jubilee in 2022, a reunion seemingly scripted for a hug, a handshake, something. But we were ships passing in the night, 2 titans orbiting each other at a cold, calculated distance. A pantheon of basketball gods descended, summoned by the league to bask in the glow of their shared legacy. The air crackled with nostalgia as titans embraced, trading war stories etched in sweat and rivalry. Jordan and Barkley, once brothers in arms, stood amongst them, enshrined on the list of the NBA's 75 immortals. They moved through the same rituals of reverence, ghosts of a friendship haunting the same hallowed halls there. Images forever captured together, yet worlds apart. But the gravitational pull of their shared history held no sway that night. 2 titans, once orbiting the same sun, now repelled each other like charged particles. Whispers of peacemaking attempts fluttered through the crowd, intermediaries seeking reconciliation. Each man, however, remained entrenched, a silent testament to a breach too profound to mend. The opportunity dissolved, leaving behind only the lingering chill of what had been lost. Vegas winds carried away another chance. Barkley's always kept the door open, reconciliation-wise. Jordan? Radio silence. That silence, though, screams volumes louder than any old tirade he might have unleashed. Funny thing is, even through all this, Barkley still bows down to Jordan the player, the legend. Even now, long after the fallout, Barkley never wavers. He still crowns Jordan king on TNT, pointing to that spotless finals record, the iciness in his veins. Hell, Barkley's even argued Jordan was robbed of a few MVP trophies. Ask him about facing Jordan, and you get nothing but respect, pure gratitude for battling the ultimate benchmark. After all, he seems to imply, without Jordan's towering shadow, would any championship even taste as sweet? Now, there's a stumper for you. Truthfully, I couldn't rightly say why things went south. But let me tell you, I'm damn grateful I got to lace him up when he did. Because every player wants to measure up against the best, don't they? The absolute best. See, that's where the Jordan-LeBron thing gets interesting. Some folks still swear by Kareem, too. You want a voice in that argument, because let's face it, what Michael accomplished, circling back to that whole respect your elders idea we were kicking around. Yet, Jordan remains unmoved, his chill unbroken by Barkley's accolades. The king of petty, as seen in The Last Dance, has added Barkley's words to his extensive list of grievances, branding them beyond redemption. This particular grudge, now spanning a decade, appears unyielding. Barkley, resigned, doubts their bond will ever mend. Barkley chalks it up to pure Jordan stubbornness. He laments the lost camaraderie, but wouldn't trade his analyst's integrity for it. The bitter twist? Barkley was dead on. Jordan's Hornets were a mess during his reign, baffling draft choices, revolving door coaches, and a whole lot of losing. Jordan cashed out, a billionaire basking in the afterglow, yet the Hornets' wreckage clung to him. Barkley merely voiced the league's hushed consensus. The twist? He broadcast it to the world, a judgment delivered by Jordan's closest confidant. The demise Jordan envisioned for Barkley wasn't of the body. The rupture was deeply personal. Jordan, stung by what he perceived as treachery, severed ties. Barkley, unyielding in his stance, extinguished any hope of amends. Thus, a brotherhood forged in sweat and competition crumbled, leaving 2 icons adrift in a shared orbit, yet light years apart. In the decades since, their paths have crossed thrice, each encounter a silent testament to a chasm that remains unbridged, a minimum of 25 feet of frozen history separating them. Jordan, architect of a financial dynasty, couldn't forgive what Barkley, now a microphone-wielding truth-teller, delivered on air. Loyalty, in Jordan's reckoning, demanded silence. A blind eye turned to the Hornets' blunders. Barkley's perceived betrayal warranted nothing less than friendship's execution. He was expected to offer absolution, not analysis. And so, Barkley spoke his piece, fulfilling his analyst duty, but at a terrible cost. The bond with Jordan severed. The show ends. Should the mood strike? Explore similar tales showcased elsewhere on this very screen.